See that video I sent you?
Yes, I did. That's insane. I love aliens. I think aliens. I think that's the coolest thing. I know there's like maybe people should be more fearful of that. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love the thought that there's like other species doing other stuff, creating spaceships. Mm-hmm. I think that's amazing.
So I'll take it from the top with the alien shit, okay?
Okay.
So you know how people... So there's still people to this day that don't believe... I'm not saying on Earth. I'm saying in the entire universe.
Yeah, we'll start with that as the baseline.
There's still people that are like, no, there is not a single life form on any other planet. Yeah. That to me is mind blowing that they can't, like they think there's nothing else, right?
Do you think those people were more or less likely to wear masks during COVID?
More likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because look,
sorry for
no, it's okay. It's okay. I had to really think about it.
Because there's like some interesting dynamics playing in my brain right now about like who would land in that space and what their lives look like.
I know a few of them.
Carry on.
But so it's like logically speaking, there absolutely 100% has to be extraterrestrial life, right?
Yeah, intelligent extraterrestrial life.
Extraterrestrial.
We're not going to play that game of like it's an amoeba, thousands of galaxies away.
Yeah,
like there's definitely something with
intelligent life equal or more than us, right?
Yeah, definitely more than us.
Well, definitely, yeah. We are actually in a very young section of the universe, so
go figure.
Yeah, so like, right? So the universe is like the universe goes on forever.
Yeah,
right?
And it's constantly expanding.
That means every possible outcome happens. So logically speaking, there has to be extraterrestrial life. Mm-hmm. Anyway, aliens are real. If you don't believe that, you're stupid. So
did you say you're us stupid?
Yes, you are us stupid.
Well, hopefully they'll get it. Anyway, aliens are real. Go back to the video.
The video. Okay, so the video is actually from 2020. I forget exactly the name of the pilot.
I know his first name's George because it's the coolest, like
coolest way to write George. It's like George Ake, not Ake, but like Arquez, something like that.
Call him George.
We'll just call him George. I'll probably link the video.
Maybe.
If I'm feeling up to it. But videos from 2020. He's small. He's flying a small plane propeller, and I think he's over the ocean. Or something like that, or you don't see the ground. And in any
your
case,
voice went really high there.
Yeah, I know.
Side note, very impressive.
Thank you. And then he's recording because he sees it from a distance. Thing. And it's this silverish color saucer, I guess, that has like 4 points that stick out of it. Again, everything is very soft rounded.
Yeah,
right?
To me, it looked like a turtle shell.
Yes, it looks like a turtle shell. That's probably one of the best descriptions for it. A silver turtle shell and no seams whatsoever. And if it's like horizontal, it is actually like lifted upwards like this, and it's like moving in a straight line that way, right? So that's and it's like a really good high definition.
It's not this crappy pixelated horrible video, but it's moving so quickly.
It's moving unbelievably fast.
It's still hard to see.
Yeah. Even when you chop down the video, you can see it each frame, but it's moving unbelievably fast.
Yeah, it's wild.
But so this, so the way it's flying, I don't know if anyone knows, but Bob Lazar, I'm sure.
If you don't know who Bob Lazar is, check him out. Watch some of the stuff he's gone on about. It'll definitely split the crowd. He's a very polarizing person with his opinions, but it is awesome to just think about and listen to.
That's his opinion. Bob Lazar is telling 100% the truth about absolutely everything. I
agree with that, but I know not everyone will.
It's overwhelming the amount of evidence that have been brought forward to show that he's telling the truth. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he used to work at Area 51, or was it Area 51 or was it the hangar S1 or something like that?
Black site.
He worked at a black site near Area 51. He was brought on by the U.S. military to reverse engineer alien craft, right? And
why don't we just make X-Tech a thing? Because that just sounds super cool.
X-Tech?
Yeah, like extraterrestrial
All
technology.
right, let's call it X-Tech.
X-Tech.
Yeah. So he was
Patent pending. Trademark. That's my name.
So he was brought in to like reverse engineer X-Tech.
Yeah.
And he said that the things that he's seen in there, which apparently everything was compartmentalized, so he didn't really get to interact with a lot of stuff. But he said that they had like 10 to 12 saucers, including the Roswell one, and some that seem to have been thousands of years old that were found at like geological sites, and some in the Arctic and whatnot. Anyway, so they were reverse engineering extraterrestrial craft. And the way he described the way they fly and how they manage this flight is exactly the way it's shown in that video that pilot took. And it's mind-blowing because he says that the way it flies is it uses these arms that with some sort of tech, which I think he talks about element 115. They use apparently this element to create gravitational pull. Like these arms point in a direction, it creates a gravitational pull, and the saucer basically just flies in that direction.
That's cool.
So like it's not defying gravity, which is what it sounds like. It's not actually defining gravity. It's just moving gravity in a different direction.
Yeah.
So that it will just basically fall, and it can adjust the gravitational pull to fall faster or slower.
Yeah.
That's how it flies.
Yeah. Well, obviously it's not a perfect system if fucking a dozen of them have slammed into Earth.
Well, that's the thing is we don't know why they slammed into Earth, right?
Yeah. Well, I think if you just take how we kind of develop, learn, see things, different, patterns and waves you go through growing up, especially if we don't know what their lives would be like, right? So maybe they're like when you're a teenager, your body starts doing crazy shit and your hormones are all over the place. Yeah. And sometimes you'll take bigger risks because your body is telling you that like death isn't a thing. Yeah. So, I mean, thinking if something lived to be 200 years old, maybe that stage happens to you and is more prominent in a different stage of your life. Yeah. So this 100-year-old alien is still like a teenager in its time, and it is just joyriding the shit out of space. Yeah. And if your little gravity button is going all over the place, or you had too many, blue milks, and you just slam right into a planet.
And here's the thing: people think of this I do agree with everything you're saying, but another point is people seem to think that just because it's X-Tech, it's like invincible. Yeah, it's like. Listen, a 50 caliber bullet is a 50 caliber bullet. Doesn't matter if it's shiny metal or regular metal, right? Yeah. So like if they bring this thing and they just hover it over a point of interest for them, where say they're reading nuclear energy or whatever, that would be over a military base of some kind. Do you think the military base is not armed and ready with like serious firepower? Yeah. Doesn't matter if that thing comes and flies over. It stays there for 2 seconds. It's getting shot the fuck down, right? Yeah. Like.
Well, I think it's because of all the stuff we've watched and learned through pop culture, movies, video games. They definitely have like a field-generating shield. Yeah. There's a big blue shield that comes up every time we shoot stuff at them. Yeah. And it makes this cool boom noise. Yeah.
It's like, meanwhile, this dude's got a flak gun firing like 70 millimeter
that poor little gray bastard is just watching bullets slide through. Oh my God! Holy shit! Definitely don't pay me enough for this. I'm gonna crash land on this hillbilly planet with all these backwater fucking hairless monkeys. They keep making fun of us probing. They don't know what goes on here.
It's like, I was just here on vacation. What the fuck?
Oh, those poor aliens.
Yeah. But like, right? Like,
yeah.
Well, and here's another thing. If this species evolved on a planet that element 115 for whatever reason is plentiful and everywhere, and that's the element you happen to need to make anti-gravity, this might be their first way of travel that they come up with, right? Yeah. So like, just because it seems like more advanced tech doesn't necessarily mean they had the same branch to get there, right?
or how useful, like how experienced they are with that tech.
Yeah.
And like that's again assuming that it's just like one race of aliens that keeps smashing into the planet. You know, but yeah, just like
who the fuck put this planet here?
just shoot it at the blueberry. Nobody fucking knows anything there anyway. Just watch it there.
There's just those crazy monkeys over there. They just all do all sorts of weird shit.
Well, you know what? But it goes back to like that theory that if like you went far enough away and like they looked through a telescope and imagine that they had this super powerful telescope.
That's true.
And they were looking at us, they'd be like, "Oh, there's nothing there.
Yeah, it's nothing there, or it's dinosaurs or whatever."
And then
they show up there, and then it's a bunch of psychotic, raging, roided out monkeys with like reactive armor and shit, with swords and guns, and are just like, "Yo, look at that shiny thing!
No, kill it!
Hey Tim, bet I can hit it!"
Yeah, like they want. Yeah, it's just awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would be part of that too. Like if you think like. When we get rockets, we test them.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
Shit goes sideways. And that's on a much smaller scale. Usually we can't get out of the atmosphere. There's shit everywhere. But if you got to the point where you're trying to go farther and faster and farther and faster, they could just be shooting that stuff out and it just boop,
smashing.
We just happen to be in the trajectory.
And here's the thing. Who knows how many of these civilizations there are. We could have tons of these civilizations, just even like around the corner on the celestial level, right?
Yeah.
And there could be like every other planet could have a civilization that's ish on par with them.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not weird for them to just be smashing into fucking...
Well, and to think too, like if that was the case where, you know, on this like this universal scale, if you had something of, we'll say superior intelligence to where we are technologically and probably every other way, and they found other species... Especially if they're the opposite of us, where they want to share technology and they're looking to you know have this diverse biome of universe species.
Yeah.
Now all of these different races cannot be sharing technology.
Yeah.
You know, and again, like we're drip fed stuff as soon as we're born. That it's just like some superior elitist group of generally humans that want to conquer the whole galaxy.
Yeah.
Or they're a scary arachnid race that again is going to conquer the whole galaxy.
I got a raid.
Yeah. Everything is just. Conquer. We never talk about the fact...
But that's because we put what we think and how we see other things on them, right?
Yeah.
Because we're humans. We are unbelievably fucking violent.
Yeah, and insecure.
And we want to fucking kill everything, right? So we're just like assuming alien race, they're going to want to kill us, but we're going to kill them first.
Absolutely. Right? Well, I mean, even if they came and were like, hey guys, like we want to help you out, it's just pop, pop, pop. Yeah. Like, never mind. See you later. Enjoy your monkey fucking. Like, we're out of here. We're just going to test.
Yeah. You guys better run because they're going to try and fuck you.
Yeah, don't come here. There's a giant sign just outside the moon.
Yeah.
It's like, no bueno.
That's what on the dark side of the moon is, right?
Yeah. Don't go here. This is like an alien skull and crossbones. Yeah. Not safe.
Not safe.
Yeah.
But, and that's, you know, like, okay, imagine your local fucking highway, right?
Yeah.
Like, how many car accidents are there on your local highway?
At any given time?
At any given time.
A pile, but
a pile. Like, you know, you'll have at least 1 or 2 accidents a day.
Yeah.
Right? So, what if, you know, there's a local fucking highway that goes through our goddamn solar system?
Yeah.
Yeah, every now and then, someone's gonna fucking jump the curb and hit the planet, right?
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. That's beautiful. Jump the curb and hit the planet, especially if he's been drinking.
Yeah, you know, like who knows? They're fucking drinking Venus juice or something.
Yeah. I want to know what is on either side, because why are we the throughway for that? Yeah. Like, it's got to be obviously super good if you're blowing past that like mine sign on the dark side of the moon. And what the hell Venus juice is like. Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, what was I gonna go with that?
I don't know. But my hang up for aliens, or where like I get miffed, and it's not so much with aliens, it's with like people. Okay. Like when the state's administration, I think it was like last year, 2 years ago. Yeah. And they start releasing documents saying like, okay.
Oh yeah, during the pandemic, they like admitted that there's alien life.
There's stuff that
they're in contact with aliens.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of it was, you know, I'm sure some of it is still not.
It's not
publicized.
It's not publicized, but it's released files that they're in contact with aliens.
Yeah, and
that's why there's the fucking Space Force.
Yeah, it's crazy. And there's also an embassy in the States.
There's an embassy in the States. And, okay, again, I'm going to go on another little conspiracy thing here.
We'll just, like, for the folks at home or on their cell phone, there's actually an embassy, an Earth embassy in the States, and their job is to cultivate and nurture human-alien relationships. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Because we're in contact with aliens. Yeah. Like, like, just go on the CIA vault.com.
Yeah.
And, like,
you can read all
you
the
can
crazy
read it.
good stuff. It's awesome.
So,
and then you can start your own podcast, and we'll probably watch it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about you here.
Yeah, we will. For a fee. But anyway.
Capitalist.
So, in the early, I think it was the late 2000s or early 2010s, there was, everyone knows what 4chan is. 4chan's a website, one of the greatest things on the planet. Anyway, there was someone who hacked into the Pentagon.
Yeah.
And was able to snatch a bunch. This is a real one that made the news, and the Pentagon like admitted to it. Was able to snatch a bunch of screenshots of the computers before they were locked out, and then one of the things that they took a screenshot of was the Space Force and their emblem and a bunch of like names of the people in it and their rank and whatnot. Skip ahead to the pandemic.
Yeah.
So Trump announces that he's creating the Space Force.
Yeah.
Now, people had just said that leak that person made was like made up. The Space Force that Trump announces uses the exact same emblem.
Yeah.
Has the exact same names.
Yeah.
As the people that were on the thing. And yeah.
And is it based off the Netflix TV show at all?
There's a Netflix TV show?
I think it's called Space Force. It's Michael Scott, but what is his real name? Steve Carell.
Oh,
Isn't it called Space Force?
I don't know. I don't
Actually,
watch TV.
It's cool that, because if that's the case, if it is called Space Force, and I'm pretty sure it is, but it's like spoofy satire.
Oh, it's spoofy.
It's funny. And it's not like a real documentary starring Steve Carell,
which
which would also be worth a watch.
That'd be amazing.
But they were talking about that too, as like, you know, there's certain things that happen in the media, and then 4 or 5 years down the road, it happens in real life.
Yeah.
And there's a name for it about like how it's programming people.
Mm-hmm.
But my opinion, based on no scientific study or fact, is that we're just lazy as fuck. And if we,
and the government knows this. They know that.
But I'm talking about all people, like even people in position of power, right? Like if your job is to create something that's ominous and disastrous, and you go home and you binge watch something on Netflix, where do you think all your ideas are coming from?
Oh, yeah.
What you're absorbing through the TV or what you're absorbing through a book. And I mean, again, like I don't think that it's necessarily us being predisposed to information before something happens. I think somebody else just got the idea of like, oh, we could just do that instead of me trying to, you know, come up with this complex scenario. I'll just derail the train.
I'll throw you this one. What if some of the people making these shows and not documentaries, but these shows and movies, because of their position in the world, they have access to certain people that have certain information. And they tell them this information, and they're like, man, that would make a great TV show. And they make a TV show about it. And then 5 years later, that information becomes public, and they're like, yo, that show's very fucking similar to it.
Yeah, well, that's similar to like the first point of where they're kind of directing. Like it's being, again, like almost Inception. On like these people who have the ability to create these awesome works. Yeah. And then us being desensitized to the overall outcome of those situations. Because we're like, it's just like subconsciously, like we know how this ends. So we're no longer interested in it. Yeah. And I want to go back to your point where you're saying humans are lazy. Yeah. Humans are absolutely fucking lazy. Yeah. But I reflected on that a lot. Yeah. So one of the things I do still think in certain cases that like, and it's not an individual, like in general, that we are lazy in certain subjects. I think a better word would be uninterested. Or like we have no, like it's not so much laziness. It's just there's no, we're not incentivized to pursue that information. You're not wrong. But I think that's an important part because like if I asked you to read a book about a subject you didn't like, based solely on my recommendation, are you going to read that book?
Probably not.
No, because you don't care.
Yeah.
But I think when I get hung up on that is that like when we do these things where the government's like, okay, jig is up. Like, there's definitely some stuff we can't explain. You guys have been right for a long time.
Yeah.
But we're like, what's going on social media with like this certain celebrity or like this movie star or like this cooking trend or this drink.
But that's another thing, though. If we're talking about, like, okay, for instance, in Canada, the CBC is bought and paid for by the Canadian government.
Yeah.
And for instance, in the U.S., like a good comparison would be the CNN, which is entirely owned by the Clinton Foundation, right? Yeah. Which is the government.
Yeah.
So if the...
that's a bold statement. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Not exactly wrong.
Yeah.
So, like, where was I going? Oh, yeah. Okay. So the media, the major news networks are owned by the government, right?
Yeah.
Now, the government, by law, sometimes has to release certain information, or they want to release certain information to be like, hey, look, it's there, but you have to go look for it yourself, type deal. So they'll release that information, then they'll just tell the news media, don't run a story on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's like, the Space Force thing and the contact with aliens things, the files being released about that is just like, it's public knowledge. You can go to it and look it up yourself.
Absolutely. Well, and I think too, like going back to, because I know that can like those statements about these sources of information that still so many people go to for their news, to be told that it's being financially backed with someone with maybe not so transparent tendencies or like a nefarious agenda.
Yeah.
That's a hard pill to swallow. Mm-hmm. But I mean, a lot of those businesses and companies are publicly traded, or you can find like the financial information to some degree is public, and you can see who will benefit from, like if they have an agenda, they're not going to do something that's going to impact, because everything comes down to money and power and property.
And Kardashian gets more clicks than aliens.
But that's super true. But like for me, and like maybe that's just because of who I am and like what I'm interested in. Yeah. The fact that like aliens didn't explode on social media, but like Pete Davidson's relationship did. Yeah. Like, who is awesome. I love Pete Davidson. I think he's a fabulous person. But like,
I like his rip on what's her name? His most recent one that he was dating.
Wasn't that Kim?
No, he dated Ariana Grande.
Yeah, but that was before. That was after Kim.
No, that was after Kim. Yeah.
But it was before Kim.
No.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
It was 100%. No. Let us know who it was.
It was after.
Kim was after. Kim was the latest.
No, Ariana Grande was after.
I don't believe you.
You look it up. Anyway, look up the rip on it. Look up the rip on it because it's like.
But I remember watching his comedy special, and he said she did this fucking crazy thing. So she told everybody that he had like the best dick in the world. Yeah. Right? So, and he was like, yeah, that sounds good. And then his whole spot is about now everyone is just chronically disappointed because like they have this super high expectation that I have no way of filling. And I'm sure he's close because I mean that guy crushes like beautiful girls all the time.
That's because he's funny.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that he made the joke about Barstool Sports calling him Butthole Eyes, and I think that is hilarious, and I can't unsee it, and that will forever be burnt into my brain. But God love Pete Davidson, and I think he's awesome. And he talks a lot about like his mental health issues, and he's very open and honest about it. And I think that's super cool too because he's letting himself be vulnerable about something that's super intense, and kind of breaking down a lot of the stigma that goes with that stuff. So good on Pete Davidson.
Good for him. Good for him. Yeah, I'm fairly indifferent to the man. I do like his rip on Ariana though.
Yeah. Well, you seem very excited.
It's such a good rip.
Go.
I don't remember it, but he talks about
how. You can't build it up like that and then not say it.
I don't know it offhand. He just makes fun of the fact that she like spray tans a lot.
That's enough. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Okay. Next on the agenda.
Did we miss anything with aliens?
Dude, we could talk about aliens forever.
Yeah. What about? Oh, you know what we should talk about? Maybe next is Elon's new engine.
He has a new engine?
Yeah, it's like a particle accelerator engine.
Like some CERN shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they shoot a bunch of particles through. I'm not a scientist. Like,
there's a midget in the car.
yeah, there's just got like a hose with a bunch of plastic. It's like bubble tea. I don't know how it fucking works. I'm pretty sure it's called a particle accelerator. And
Particle accelerator.
Yeah,
okay.
and it allows us, or will allow us to travel 99.9% as fast as the speed of light.
Yeah, because you can't go as fast as the speed of light.
Allegedly,
which is bullshit. I know you can go faster than the speed of light.
100%. We just
no
don't know
way
how to.
You can't.
We just don't know how to do it yet.
Yeah.
But just like if you went back 300 years, it'd be like, I'm gonna fly a plane. That's never gonna happen.
No.
Yeah. What the fuck's a plane? Planes exist.
Bro, I'm in space.
Yeah. Yeah. Wouldn't that be? Joke's on you guys. We're actually filming from the moon.
Yeah. You don't fucking know where we are. Fuck, this could be lunar hay.
It is lunar hay.
Yeah. Those are the grays that kidnapped us.
Yeah.
I ate them.
There's no fucking food on the moon. This has been 3 Dead Babies. We hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. We know we did, and that's all that matters.
Don't forget to leave comments, like the video, and please subscribe. It helps us an amazing amount.
Yeah.
Again, I'm Vampire Jesus.
I'm your fabulous co-host, and we would love to keep, talking shit about everybody's problems. So in that comment section, light it up with whatever's fucking burning your ass, pissing you off, making you crazy, and we'd love to dig into it and have a conversation about it. Until next time, we'll see you later.